All right. Hello, everybody. This is today's live, and I'm inviting a collaborator today. So give me a few seconds. I will be inviting Corina Stewart, which I'm very excited when she joins. She's going to be here soon. Hang on with me.
Hi.
Okay, she's here. Hey,
Hey,
nice to see you.
nice to see you. How's my volume? You hear me okay?
Yeah, I hear you perfectly. That's amazing that we do these things spontaneously like this and just, hey, jump on
So
live.
easy.
Super fun.
Yeah, I know. I'm just here. I don't know if you guys can see very well if I kind of do a little there.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
That's my
That's your,
view.
your new house, right?
Yep, I'm at our new house. It's quite beautiful. Yeah.
Oh,
We're like
okay.
not moved in, but Tony is uh building a chicken coop right now and we're just chilling.
Beautiful
Yeah.
Saturday.
It's beautiful.
Nice.
It's getting hot. It's sweaty. I love it. I love this environment. It's so
Yeah, and as you say this, now it's starting to rain here in Costa Rica. Super humid day. So,
wow. Wow.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Mm.
same climate. So yeah, thanks for jumping on this spontaneous live with me.
Yeah.
I've been on
Yep.
a thread of like jumping live every day, and this
Yeah.
morning I just text Corina here and was like, "Hey, do you want to go live with
And
me?"
we're
And
here.
yes, and we are here. That's amazing. And just before texting you, I was like, "Oh, let's talk about this subject. So tell me if it resonates or not.
Yeah.
If it
Yeah.
doesn't,
Tell
we'll
me
just
tell
really
me what you
flow
have
with
in
this."
mind. Yeah, let's go with it.
I really wanted to go into the as within, so without.
Ooh, totally
Yeah,
down for
right.
that. Totally down for that. Yeah.
Yeah, and to speak, to discuss about frequency and the vibrations and how, as creators, we have the power to shift our reality, and that we are not a victim of our reality.
Right. Right.
And yeah, whatever wants to be shared, from your perspective, your tools, your way of
Right.
operating, and
Right.
I can share
Yeah.
also. And it's really pouring rain
I
right
can
now,
hear
so I'm just
it.
gonna.
Oh my God.
Yes, isn't
With
it fun? Did we manifest this?
within, without. There
Within,
we go. It's a
without.
blessing. It's a
Yes,
blessing, right? It's a
yeah,
water
yeah.
blessing. Well,
So I
it's
just want to introduce you also a bit,
oh
like
yeah, sure.
Corina. I've known Corina for about 4 years now, and I met her divinely guided as I was, putting a prayer and a decision to really bridge services and gifts with wealth. And Corina appeared on my path, and I trusted the guidance, and she became my coach and my mentor for about 4 years. And I've had the blessing to journey,
Oh my
aside you, like, and be guided by you in the last 4 years. And our paths are still, crossing, and I'm super happy about all of this. So I wanted to just give a bit of an introduction of,
God.
why you're here and
Right.
loving our relationship too. So thank you so
Yeah.
much for
Thank you,
showing up
Jennifer.
here. All
Yeah,
right.
thank you. I mean, talk about within without,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
Yeah.
we manifest each other. Like we can start there. Like we manifest everyone in our lives. And I think there's not always such a deep conscious awareness of how true that reality is, right? Like, everyone that's in your life right now, everyone you encounter, even the most seemingly random encounters, you're creating all of it. You're manifesting all of it, right? And it's so beautiful to, like, I just think about the heart space with that. Because when we really acknowledge that there's no randomness, there's no accident, like all encounters are some kind of blessed, loving encounter from within. And it's our job to discern, if we choose to, why. Why, right? Like, why did I call in this connection, this exchange, right? Like you were sharing, with how we got connected, and these things can evolve. I mean, I feel so deeply connected to you. It's like it goes beyond, right? It goes beyond, beyond, beyond. I mean, these are these deep cosmic soul connections, and there's some people we're meant to just kind of have maybe like a moment, and there's others that we're going to ride like for a while, right? Because we're here to do like resonant work in the world. And I just am so like lately like so moved by the depth of that human connection. I mean, it's a miracle, right? It's such a miracle. And I know you've been doing the same. Like, this has been a year for you about that, right? Like, traveling across Costa Rica, connections, and just like really going where those threads are pulling you, which is so beautiful.
Yeah, and bringing so much curiosity on my day to day and being in awe. Really, this energy of awe, this attitude of awe of like, oh wow, look at
Right.
this. It's being presented to me, and checking in as as within, checking in and
Yeah.
seeing what manifested this beyond the mind of analyzing, but
Right.
with the curiosity, the intuition right away whispers to me and says, well, this person is on the path for this, or this is what you're meant to be sharing now or
Yeah.
creating now.
Yeah.
And using the mirror effect also,
Yeah.
really, yeah, where it bounces, like where it resonates, or where it to the opposite, like where there's like a total distortion, because at the
Right.
end of the day, it's something that's as within, so
Yeah.
without. And I really want to empower the people who are watching right now to to tap into not only this concept, because it can be seen as conceptual when you hear it
Right.
often,
Right.
but to really have the direct experience
Yeah.
of really, really feeling like your inner world and seeing what manifests
Correct.
outside, and reclaiming back that authority,
Yeah.
that we have the power of decision and we have the power of shape-shifting our lives, even if it can
Exactly.
sound like magic.
Yeah.
It is
But it
magic
is
to a certain
magic.
extent.
We are the magician. And I think, this is walking the dream, right? So how does it start, right? It starts so beautifully when we realize that there is actually a divine order to our lives. You've got to start seeing the order. When there isn't the randomness, but when you start seeing the synchronicities, when you start seeing that there is a coherent, you could say, thread or storyline to your current moment. And that's how it started for me, and I know for you too. It's like I just started to see the patterns, and I personally started to conclude that it wasn't random and that there was higher purpose of some kind. Like, I didn't know what at the beginning of my own awakening, but that there was some kind of higher consciousness, higher self, higher something that was like showing me things about myself and showing me deeper truths. And if you just get curious about that, right, then you just go, okay, wow, like there's actually something that is so beautifully coherent that is the magic. That, I mean, this is where money and abundance comes in, because when you understand that that's at work and you're in the connection of it, right? That's the embodiment, not concept. When you're in a connection of it, then you start to notice that you're provided for. That's where you start to see that there's this we call it the field or flow, right? That is constant, like the rain behind you, right? It's like the constant flow. But we're swimming in that all the time. And it's that constant that if you draw that into your awareness and draw that into an energetic connection within you, you can amplify it, right? And we work with frequency and resonance, you and I, in so many different ways. But you can amplify that then. You can amplify the connections. You can amplify the synchronicities. And then you're going to amplify the magic, the miracles, the manifestations of the things you're desiring, right? That just seem, from the outside looking in, they seem like absolutely extraordinary, right? I mean, like this house that I manifested here. We were planning to buy a house. A month later, I bought this house. Do a whole series of divine synchronicities, knowing that it's totally in some big higher plan, right? And I know for you, similar. Like you've bought properties and moved to Costa Rica for similar, right? So that's
it's
how I
very
think.
similar.
Yeah, it's very.
Yeah, and I want to bring in also the power of, in different words, the power of prayer and the power of decision.
Yes.
And within the prayer, there's that texture. I mean, the prayer is not, only asking for something or begging for something. That's kind of an old way of praying. But this deep decision, this deep surrender into, well, this is really what I'm claiming for my life.
Yeah.
And within there's like, in the body, I feel it's like, boom, like it's like the battery goes on.
Mm-hmm.
And from earth to sky, there's something that just brings a resonance,
Yeah.
and then we start seeing these manifestations,
Yeah.
synchronicities, and then our duty is to actually say yes and not be the barrier
That is.
to receive our prayer.
Yeah.
And that's what we see often, like we can even be clear with our prayers, but then can our nervous system handle receiving it fully?
That's a really big piece. And I think, why it's so important to say, like, to make, let's just call it big moves, right? Like when you lock in the prayer, meaning like, this is what I want, right? And then the opportunity arises. Can you make that decision? So many I see hesitate and wait because of the nervous system, because of past fears, because of the mind, right? Becoming really disorganized, let's just say, over the prayer. And so your ability, I mean, one of the things that, both of us do really well is to be able to say yes and jump into things that we don't know how it's going to work out, right? Completely shifting your life to move to Costa Rica. I did the same when I moved to Puerto Rico. Completely just saying yes to buying a home when it wasn't on the plan, right? These are big moves. They're big decisions. But in order to do that, you do have to have your nervous system capable of receiving the prayer and receiving the opportunity and being able to walk into that reality. And that's where there can be this rub, right? Where
The gap.
the gap,
Yeah.
right? Where the desire is there and even the patterns of the synchronicities are there. And then you can hear people say, well, I see the signs and I get the signs, but then I don't see a change. Well, the gap is there, right? In the physical. It is in I think it's both nervous system. I mean, you're the embodiment coach, but I'll say in my experience, I think it's a combination majority of nervous system and the heart field, like the circuitry of your heart, because it's that ability to like switch into love out of the fear, right? And nervous system and body, of course, can carry fear in different places, but being able to, I'm going to use the word override that with the frequency of love, right? And it's like that muscle needs to really get strong to have the courage to make the big moves and know that you're completely safe.
Yes, and
What
I
do you
will
think
add
about
to this
that?
and I will bridge to this. Yes,
Yeah.
100%. I will bridge the womb space, which is very linked to the heart.
Yeah.
And in the body, we see the vision, we have the
Yeah.
prayer, and then the heart comes in tune, and then the womb comes in tune, which is like the birthing of in the reality.
Right.
And that's when in my own life, this is where I actually feel that my legs are moving in the direction of my vision and of my prayer and of my heart. As long as my womb has not said yes and literally my yoni has not opened to receive this guidance, let's be raw in the way to say it, I'm not, there's kind of a disalignment in my spine. Like my legs move in a certain way, my heart wants something, my vision sees something, but my legs are not yet in tune. So the embodiment work is really to start bringing in tune the legs, the womb, and the portal of love also coming from the womb space.
Right.
And then everything comes into alignment from my experience, and this is how I operate when I really want to own up to prayer, because I see it sometimes like exactly what you say. I see some prayers, they're in front of me,
They're right there.
yet I'm right there, but I'm a bit even frozen. I'm with my body, I'm like, oh, look at you, you're frozen in front of it, you cannot accept it. Like a part of you is not in tune yet, and it is not in resonance, in coherence with this vibration.
Well, this is where, there's a lot of tools, right, that are available, but we both use Healy.
Yes.
And Healy, for those of you who don't know what it is this frequency device. It's like a personal device. Mine is in my purse behind me, so I can't show up. It's like a little device. And,
mine also is not.
And you can wear it on the body. But what I found so useful about it is the speed at which, like, working with the Healy has helped me to, I will say, get into the embodiment of those big prayers quicker. Like, because what you're saying, I recognize as well, where there's things that I know I've prayed for and I've asked for, and they're hanging all around me, and they have been for years. And I'm aware of them, aware of it. Oh, yeah, there you are. And I know if I walk through that door, like, this is all going to happen. But it's almost too ungrounding. Like, to fully step into it. But with the Healy, which, I use daily, I found that it's, and I'm not even going to say I know exactly why. I don't know why.
Yes, it's very mysterious.
Very mysterious, but I'm just noticing. One of the things, I've had mine for about 4 months. I'm noticing that I'm right now in this time of my life, I'm able to make bigger decisions all at once. I'm someone who could get overwhelmed, like, okay, I'm always making big decisions, but the number of big decisions, I would say there was a cap of some kind all at once. And when I say big decisions, it's like things like, you were with me in Egypt last year. Like, that was a big, like, capacity growth moment for me as an entrepreneur and as a leader and a space holder. That in itself was massive, to like carry that, that energy field and create it and all that. Like, that's a big decision. Like, yes, we're doing that. This is happening. And at the same time, other things that obviously were going on in my own life. So those are the kind of big choices I'm talking about. So to be able to do that and, like, hold yourself high in a relationship, to, go to the next level of that, right? Like, to be kind of like breaking through different glass ceilings of your consciousness, right? So I'm noticing now that I can hold, like, I have a greater capacity to increase, I would say, the number of bigger choices and decisions that I can hold at once without it creating anxiety, sleepless nights, ungrounding my energy. And I do credit that to the Healy. I do, because I can see that it's working on different parts of my body, my organs, my meridian lines, and certainly thought fields, to just bring my body into my body, like bring myself into my body. We'll just put it
Totally.
that way, right?
And we have our tools, and our tools have always worked, but this, just for the people who are watching who don't know what this Healy is, it's really a bioresonance device that shifts the magnetic field of your body. So it's in a simple way of saying it, it shifts your magnetism, therefore you're manifesting also differently. So it's a tool, it's an aid, and I've also noticed the same thing of it amplifies my field, and I work with specific intentions, and I work with specific parts of my body, because I really work with the body, so I'm going to go and work with my gut space, for example, for a certain time, and see things that with my own attention I did not really have access. Like the machine, the device actually does it for me, and I'm like, oh wow, look at this clogged memory or emotion that I was not picking up with my daily routine. And now it's accessible to me. It unlocks, and literally since I've been using it, also it has shifted my 3D reality in relation to what was repressed in there. And I'm not going specific. For me, it was a lot more relational aspects, like having a lot more courage in relationships, and how I'm operating as units. Like rather than me, it's more a we. And I've been calling this in for a while, and something in my body was just blocking me, and it was just my protective zone to be in the I. But my deep soul calling and my longing was like, no, I want to be more in the we, but it's the protection, right? So it did accelerate.
Well, it's interesting. You said the word courage. When you said that, I thought, wow. I mean, maybe that's just it, right? Like whatever we're requiring courage for, is opening us up to that. Because when we have courage, we will take risks, quote unquote, right? Because it's a risk to the body. What's going to happen, right? I mean, that's the unconscious thinking, right?
Yes, the survival brain, yes.
Yeah, and so I definitely see that a lot more courage has opened up, and the ability to move through things that otherwise I could, because I'm someone who's always going to kind of do it. But it's about how does it feel? How does it feel, right? And being able to make big moves, do them quickly, and have it feel in a space of peace, in a space of calmness. I mean, that's a gift. What a gift, right? That rather than feeling it like this, I know I need to, and so I'm going to go in this direction, but it's so uncomfortable, right?
And there's doubt usually when there's this too. Like you need to, but there's still like, it doesn't feel comfortable. Is it the right decision or not? But when your nervous system is grounded and like pure and clear in a certain way, you have more space, you have more energy available too. And it's definitely non-neglectable.
The energy right? Having more energy and more capacity. Then that's the word that I would say. I feel I've increased my capacity overall.
Capacity.
Yeah.
More resilience. Yeah, more resilience in the nervous system,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I have my Mag Healy too, which you got to get that thing. I'm telling you, it's amazing. I mean, I run it for like I had it on for sleep last night. I've had a week of a lot of challenged sleep, I would say, like, because late nights, a lot going on. We had friends here. I was just getting over getting sick. We're in the middle of a move. We get 2 more weeks to move. I mean, these are like a lot of things. And I'm running the business at the same time. Kids had a field trip on Friday. It's just like all these things, right? Life is happening. And so even just the ability to get deeper sleep, right, is like important right now. And know that like these frequencies are working on my body to bring me into a new level of sleep. I mean, I don't exactly know how it's doing it, but it is. So I'm grateful, really grateful for that. But yeah, within and without, let's get back to that, because I just, deep.
Yeah, within, without. Like for me, really, yeah, this intention that to release any thought that we are actually a victim of our circumstances. And sometimes it can be really edgy to say stuff like this, just because there are some circumstances that are very, non-wishable, right? But to take 100% responsibility.
Yeah.
It's responsibility and being curious on, how this human system operates, universal system operates, and these laws of nature operate, and to be curious, like bring this attention in and feel your body and shift the frequency from within. Use the tools, whether it's your own attention, nature, or a device like what we're speaking about. Use this connection to your inner world to shift and to be curious about what manifests around.
Talking to someone someone that lives here, he's having some challenging moments, and something that I just shared with him, and this fits with our topic, was how you can go back, and this is timelines, right? So within and without. So we'll get a little deep here, and how powerful we are as creators. So there was a moment where some just painful things happened in his life, and ultimately it caused a stroke to happen for him. And I said, okay, well, I was picking up some things so I could kind of see like where he could go to heal that. And I'm sharing this to give everyone a technique. If you have a moment in your life that caused like a real disruption in your life, and you maybe even think that that's the reason, right? Blame that moment or blame a person or something, that circumstance, as the reason that bad things then continue to happen, or you ended up in a situation you didn't want to be in, right? So here we are, like, I'm the victim because this, and this happened. So he was in that conversation. And I said, okay, you get to take your power back and your energy back from that moment. Go into a visualization, like a meditation, going back to that moment where you follow the events that were leading up to when the pinnacle of that bad moment happened, right? In his case, it was an argument. But you get to right before the argument happened, and you're going just through like the visual, right? And then I said, but before you let the argument happen this time, drop into your heart. Drop into your heart and really look at the other person and see them for what their struggle is, why they would react that way, why they would yell at you, why, right? Like compassion, right? Like see the other human being in a different way. And then drop into your heart and send them love, send them forgiveness. And this is just going back to a memory, right? Something that's already happened. But when we do that, we literally change not only the patterns in our own brain, but we actually change the within and without. You literally can change the entire sequence of events from that moment on, and then they ripple up into the present moment and will change what is actually happening in your present moment. That ripple
it's like working in this quantum field, right?
Exactly. It's a quantum shift. And every single one of us has the power and ability to do something as simple as that and go back to life moments where we were caused, where we experienced pain, heartache, moments that you think were, just key moments in your life that set you somewhere you didn't want to be, and change it. And, you know, it's called the mandala effect, right? And that mandala effect will actually result in everything shifting in your entire reality, because you're changing within, right? You're changing a moment that was painful, hurtful, full of fear, and you're changing it into love. And then all of a sudden now you've encoded your current reality with love.
Yeah.
It's so powerful.
Shifting the frequency of it, you know, from a lower frequency with the memory of the trauma,
Yes.
then it shifts into this higher frequency of love from this point of creation.
Yeah.
Doing the rewind, like you say, it's amazing. I'm so fascinated. You know, yeah, I'm so fascinated, and yeah, my wish is for really like as many people go into these natural ways of living, out of the human system, rather than, you know, being dependent on the outer systems, but really, really like tapping into the design of, you know, how we're made.
Yes.
And how this beautiful machinery is made. I'm going to speak like an engineer now,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, but it's our
but really,
it's our divine technology, and
it's our divine technology.
We are a light technology is how I always talk about it. You know, we're a spiritual technology, but I ultimately see it as how I see it in the field is, you know, we are a light technology. We are, you know, human, right? And the hue part is like hue, like color, right? A color spectrum, which means light. And that's what we are. That's what we actually are. And when you gain that knowledge and that understanding that we are light beings, all right? We are light beings traveling through time and space. And you then become in command, we could say, of that light essence of yourself. Oh my gosh. I mean, what becomes possible really is miraculous things. I mean, this is Christ consciousness. This is, you know, everything we can think of as the avatar, the ascended, transcended self, because we are now working with ourselves as light, and everything around us is light. And so there we go. You know,
and the forms that are no longer in alignment with this light just break, and the systems that are not in alignment collapse, and that's where the courage is needed.
Yeah.
That's where the courage is needed to bridge it with the embodiment, right? And to shift our reality.
To shift our reality. Yeah. I mean, this is here, let's like kind of speak into like who this is really for, because, you know, we're in a time right now where it's extremely important that those of us who can, let's just say, understand this wisdom, it lights something up in you. Even if you don't fully understand it, but you can feel truth in it, it means that you're a part of creating a shift and creating this collapsing, right? We could say of the systems and the structures and even just the thought fields that are no longer valid and relevant, right? For us as a humanity, because they're not rooted in light and they're not rooted in abundance. They're not rooted in health and thriving as human beings. It's so important now to step into that, because it's those of us that are, I will say, accessing this capacity that are going to change it for the whole. Like, not everyone, we kind of exist in a bubble, right, Jennifer? It's like, it seems like, you know, our whole community maybe is into this, but, you know, our community is, but the world is not. No. But that's because it's part of our role as like pioneering beings that have dropped in here to become aware of ourselves as light beings who can shift the collective reality. And I mean, to tie into Healy for a moment, I mean, that's what I love about that community, because I see how it's a whole community that's being called to shift that together.
Yeah. Really feeling the call to embody that role, and without pretension, just because it's a design, and we're really being called to step up. And honestly, I've noticed and witnessed in my own self that when I don't step up, I hurt myself, or there's some very strong physical symptoms that happen. And it just wants to take me there, which is what I call the calling, or, you know, the soul design. And the truth, and this is true for every human who is called somewhere. If you don't follow that light thread, or really your true heart calling, something, you know, something breaks. Something happens. Something breaks.
I mean, it causes chaos.
It causes
really, because
chaos.
If then you're not in the resonant field You're not a.
Do you hear the thunder as we're speaking about? Yes, as we speak about chaos. Amazing.
Chaos.
The chaos. Yes, and through chaos, again, through chaos, new systems are created, and that's how, yes, we let go of the old and we bring the new. 100%. So, yes, it's amazing to speak to you, Corina. I know we can go on like for like so long. We're really, really sharing what needs to be shared right here, and I'm really enjoying this talk. But any word of closure and. Obviously, everybody who's looking, the video is, on our feed. So ask questions. We're going to be on there. And if you're curious about the Healy, also pop us a message. Yeah. And yes, we're here on a mission. Let's get it like this.
It's important to say that, you and I are on a team together. And, if you feel us, it's like you can be a part of what we're talking about, and you can be a part of a co-creation. That really is bringing this shift in consciousness and this shift of reality into the world. So, while we're using a lot of great wisdom here and sharing our experiences, we're also we're doing something with it, right? We're co-creating together. We're leading something and bringing it into the world. Sure. So someone's asking, what is Healy? Yeah, we did talk about it briefly at the beginning, but it is a bio tool that will work on your energy field to basically bring you into resonance on the level of your health, on the level of your higher consciousness, your body, abundance. I mean, you name it, even your environment. It will bring you into your most optimal bioenergetic field, bioenergetic blueprint.
Yeah. And we can chat about it on a private message also, no problem.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, Jennifer, for inviting me, tapping me today. I'm glad I could drop in with you.
Yes. Thanks so much for showing up. And I'm happy we can be spontaneous like this and come unprepared and prepared at the same time, just answering the call.
I'm ready. I'm always ready to talk about these topics.
Yes. Same here. All right. Thanks, Corina. Thanks, everybody. And see you tomorrow.
All right.
I'm going live every day. Ciao.
Ciao.